Well, what a sight this is. A beautiful evening and the promise of a match that will really get the juices flowing. And the mood is boisterous. It is a perfect ambience for the central characters who are ready now to perform. And we rise now for the Japanese national anthem. It is our understanding that they've gone with a 4-5-1.
Well, the lone striker has to be prepared to do some of the work himself, but essentially he needs two of the three central midfielders to make runs beyond him and trust that the wide men can service the penalty box and make those link-up runs from out to in. He should get plenty of support with this setup.
So it's away we go then. Jim, which player is best equipped for this game?
Well, Peter, it's hard to overlook the engine of this team, this guy, Wataru Endo. He's an effective shield, we know that, in front of the defence. That's his job. Always keeping a solid structure to things. But he becomes the constant. The power when others are drifting in and out of form at times. He has to maintain a level that always gets him close to a yellow card, but he does well to avoid them. And he's key in this team.
Yes, he'd be my pick too. It's going to be all about how they get the best out of him. And we have our very first corner. And now a sudden chance to counter. That pass has been well intercepted. Now it's Minamino. Kubo. Dink through. And he was quick to react. Well, that had the makings of something quite promising, but it's fizzled out into nothing. No, that's been intercepted.
Yeah, we're actually currently watching a contest of insipid probing. The only way is up, I hope.
Kubo. Japan have it back and can go again. Minamino. Played back in. Oh, smashing header! That's a half-decent try.
Yeah, it's good movement, though. A bit unlucky he couldn't actually steer it goalwards.
Looking for options for movement. Goalkeeper's ball goes down, but nothing given. Looking for the runner.
That's a modern defender's instinct from a modern coach's mindset.
I think that's offside. Yes, it is. Endo. Oh, that's a key interception. Still waiting for the game's first breakthrough goal. Minamino kept his eye on it, and he's there. Toma.
A lot of space here, a real opportunity.
He is through here. Minamino. It's a Itakura.
There will be 1 minute.
Good running with the ball. Can he spark a counter here? And the first half is done. But it has been a half largely of could-haves and should-haves. Perhaps the more impatient amongst the supporters will feel they're overdue a goal, but it's certainly not for the want of trying, so nothing to show as yet. At the break, it's 0-0. How do you look back on the first 45 minutes?
It's been a pretty abject performance. No efforts at goal. I'm struggling to remember the last time we had that.
Still waiting for this to take off. It's goalless at half-time. Here we go again then.
Well, I can imagine both managers have been in the ears of the players. They want more. Let's hope the game comes to life sooner rather than later.
Has a shot! Cleared without complication. That has earned a reprieve for the time being. Opts to play it back. And now they can spring out of defence. He's shifting through the gears here. And he's made sure that's not getting through. Well, we're still waiting for a goal to report here. Driving forward. He's going for goal! Oh, that was a brilliant save.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
It's their second corner of the game.
That's just playing it safe and simple.
The match was 71,649.
Very little to report from an attacking perspective. Jim, it's a cagey old game.
Well, I think it's a fair reflection on what we've seen so far.
A real chance! Really well taken goal.
Perhaps deserves a little bit of sympathy here, because that's a goalkeeper's nightmare. It's clear that the keeper was unsighted by his defence, and by the time he picked up the flight of that, it was too late.
Number 21.
Both sides then taking this chance to turn to their benches.
Yeah, I think he's been told to play that role of the tactical pivot, spraying the ball about sometimes, driving it forward from the middle of the park.
So we have our breakthrough.
Look, experienced voices need to be heard now, along with good purpose and urgency, and they can get right back into this.
Endo. Kamada. A mixture of good defending and indecisive passing. No progress. So, Jim, what are you thinking?
I think the manager's pondering his options as to whether to stick or twist Peter in view of the time remaining. He might have a tough call to make now.
He's had it taken off him. Steaming on goal. There's the hit! They've scored! And there's the goal they've been looking for.
That looks like a preconceived plan. Win the ball and then unleash.
After 79 minutes.
When the manager called on him, he was only too happy to repay that fate.
I think the manager's claiming an assist here.
We have got changes here, from both sides in fact.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just a little jaded, and as a result of that, he was most likely to make a mistake. I think sometimes when the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it, and I think that's happened in this case.
So that's two now without reply.
To be expected, Peter. They've gone and stepped it up, something they've been threatening to do and will continue to do by the looks of it.
That's headed upfield. Kamada.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
Well, that is good. Super running, sharp movement. Came up against a defender, though, who was ever so determined. That's a fabulous ball. That's a decent clearance. And the counter is on. Oh, important interception.
5 minutes added time.
It's Akura. Kubo. No, again, there's no way through. So now we're going to get those changes we have been expecting.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
5 minutes to add. And time is up. It's a super show all round, both sides doing their best to impose themselves, but one evidently, undeniably better equipped than the other. Any reflections on what you've seen, Jim?
Well, the look on the manager's face says it all. He knows he set his attack up perfectly, and the players carried out his instructions to the letter, it would seem. Everything working very nicely.
And with that, it's time for me to thank Jim Beglin and to wish you a very good evening.
Please turn your attention to the screen for information provided by the local police.
So welcome one and all to a picturesque evening here. A clear night, all the ingredients for a showcase game that the passionate crowd demands. And the mood is boisterous. It is a perfect ambience for the central characters who are ready now to perform. And we rise now for the Japanese national anthem. Who do you, Jim, see making the difference here?
Well, Peter, it's hard to overlook the engine of this team. This guy, Wataru Endo. He's an effective shield, we know that, in front of the defence. That's his job. Always keeping a solid structure to things. But he becomes the constant, the power when others are drifting in and out of form at times. He has to maintain a level that always gets him close to a yellow card, but he does well to avoid them. And he's key in this team.
Okay, interesting. So it's down to business here. It's a good run down the right. And they've got a throw. He steps in, and that's the end of that. Minamino. Itakura. And Kubo. Doan. He's in plenty of space here. Tries a header! He's done well to get his head on that, but couldn't score.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Big chance! Goal! Japan! First blood drawn.
Japan clearly executed that with considerable confidence. It only took seconds to score once the ball was recovered.
Number 5, Morita.
Japan have taken the lead.
Well, I guess this ought to make things interesting, Peter. No doubt the opposition will now be forced to play a more open and riskier game.
Driving forward. Stood up well to him there. And shifted it to the flank. Too much pressure, and he's lost the ball. And the pass is intercepted. Doan. Japan are enjoying a good spell right now and leading. Played right into his path. Goalkeeper's ball. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point. And the score is 1-0. Kubo. Deftly away. And smartly reclaimed. Nice control. Shot could be on. There's the hit! And he's there to clear it.
There will be 1 minute added time.
Bumps him off it and wins back the ball. And the first 45 minutes are up. Well, it's a half which has simmered along nicely, warming up to what may be a more open second half to follow.
Hello attendees,
What do you think we're up to after 45 minutes?
At least, Peter, not conceding another goal has kept them in this game, and they can up their response in this second half.
Japan leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break.
Everyone, please welcome to the field our players.
Here we go again then.
Well, it's been tight, Peter, but I'm expecting things to open up now and we get some free-flowing football.
Final ball not quite right, and his teammates are irritated at that. A lot of space ahead of him. And that has been cleared. Engages and forces him off the ball. Great hit! They want to be quick to recover this. Mitoma. Well, good play on the left-hand side here. Minamino. Just coming up to the hour mark, and it's still 1-0. He is through here. There's the shot!
The attendance for this match was 72,300.
That is really good tenacity.
Substitution for Japan, number 20.
And we have our very first corner.
Coming on to replace him is number 15.
Now, who's going to be first to this? And now a sudden chance to counter. Out of play for a throw. So time for change, and this one has been on the cards for a little while.
Yeah, they're looking for some imagination, and his job's going to be to add that element of craft and guile, the man pulling the strings.
And he's managed to get free. Backward it goes. Can he finish? A collective sigh of relief from the defence.
Substitution in progress.
Corner number 2 then. Cleared away. Shapes to shoot! And yes, it's there! 2 up now, and they are cruising. Oh, high-quality goal, lovely first touch, sumptuous second.
Yeah, the touch before the finish is so often the critical part, and we've just seen an example.
Japan making consecutive changes here.
Substitution for Japan, number 10.
So that's 2 now without reply.
Well, now's the time you could afford to be more daring, Peter. It may be tempting to sit on this, but I'd say go and grab a third.
Minamino puts his foot on the gas. It's loose, and there's a race for the ball. Whistle's gone, that's a foul. Well, that is one way to stop him. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Ahead by 2 and just about into the home straight. Well, the defence proved infallible then, but that won't be the last they'll see of him.
That appeared to be an inevitable outcome. Too much traffic.
Minamino. Mitoma.
6 added minutes has been indicated.
And that is expertly dealt with. And the shot! Yes! And they are pulling clear here. Really tidily gathered, and ultimately a more than tidy finish.
Well, that defence is perplexed by the fact they've allowed him the space.
Now some movement on the bench, and we are going to see a change.
Let me help
I
you.
think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
A case now of complete control. And that is that. Japan, just a thrill to witness here. Quick, slick, and such fun. You really would fear for anyone playing up against them right now. Well, after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
Japan definitely impressing me here, especially the way that attack clicked. Whether it was link-up play, running in behind,